Karen, the Work Spinster here. Thank you for spending some time with me today. This is week 3 of our design challenge, and I will have that prompt for you later in the video. If you want to skip right to that, then I will put that time stamp down in the description below this video. Before that, I want to go through my design and thought process for doing the prompt that you did last week, which was something that starts with the letter T, and I'm going to be going with telephone. I am happy to say that the lighting and camera is better this week, so hopefully you won't need to run screening from the room at any point. I hope to see you for that design process, and I'll be back with your prompt at the end of that. I will be working on my iPad in Procreate. The lighting and camera should be all fixed, so hopefully this will work well and you'll be able to see it pretty well. And it's faster than me having to resketch things. I can just edit them in Procreate. The prompt was something that starts with the letter T, and I was torn between typewriter and telephone. I may do typewriter at some point, but today I'm going to focus on telephone. I grew up with a rotary dial, but I'm also fascinated by the candlestick phone, which looks basically like a candlestick and has a big piece at the top and then sort of a speaking funnel, I guess. And then off to the side, it's got this ring-like structure, and the receiver then, the part you pick up to here, slides into that receiver. Then the rotary dial, of course, is just a circle, and then it has finger holes at the location of each set of 3 numbers plus operator. So what is that? We have 9 plus operator. And then it also has a finger stop over here, a physical finger stop. So as you dialed, your finger would stop there. You let it go to rotate back, and then choose the next number and move that over. And then it usually had a little paper disc inserted there, and that would have your phone number on it. So I still remember my phone number from when I was growing up, these many decades ago, and I may work that in there somewhere as well. So let me lock this and get started on a new layer. And I think I'm going to start with the rotary phone here. So actually, let me just take that away, and we'll do a big old circle. And then, oh, that's probably an awfully bright color for the camera. Let me try something different here. Let's do a lighter blue. And then some smaller circles around. I'll just do this all in one color at the moment, but it certainly would be fun to check out a variety of colors here. And I could add as many circles around there as I want. I would also somehow like to incorporate the phone number in here. Now, maybe it's just I'm proud because I remember the phone number, though I think probably just about everybody who grew up in that era does. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. The number was Cedar 2, so instead of 232, it was Cedar 2. That's how they referred to it in the beginning. They changed it, but let's do a new layer here and say if I did CE, it looks like a pool ball, doesn't it? CE2. So it was written as CE, and then people would talk about it as cedar, so that you didn't have any problems with differentiating between D and T kind of thing. So that might be a possibility, though it would be probably larger and in a much better font than that. I'm going to take that away for now. That's okay. It still looks like a pool ball to me, which, wouldn't necessarily be a bad design either. We're just not doing toys and games at the moment. So that's a possibility. Another possibility would be to do that little finger stop thing. And let's choose a different color. And that is a sort of a, think about this. I do better if I don't think about it, maybe. There's a small one, and it's not a very pretty shape. Maybe I can pretty it up a little bit here. And, that's kind of an interesting shape all on its own. Duplicate it a few times and see what those look like. We could stack them and or rotate them, do any number of things. So I could rotate things. Could have them in opposition there. They could overlap. Might be okay. Entirely wild about it. What if we rotated them around a little bit? Whoops. Sort of thusly. Out of the way for the moment. And sort of moved them around a bit. And I could change the size of those too, couldn't I? Now, if I were doing a proper job with this, I would have labeled these so I know exactly which they are. Now I have to just sort of guess by the angle. All right, that's in a good place. That one is not. That should go up, which means I think this one's down here, but not in that group. All right, so that one, let's make that one larger. A little like mandarin orange slices too. That one a little smaller. That one a little smaller still. I wanted them rotated a little, and that one's smallest of all. And then maybe a circle here. These to move around a little better here, maybe. And that has some interesting possibilities. I don't know that it's there yet, but what if we combine it with this group? And see how that works. Well, that's kind of fun. I don't know about that blue circle necessarily. Let's hide that and move these. That's kind of interesting. I don't mind that. Feels like it needs something behind it. And we'll do a different color just so we can differentiate it. It may not, these are not necessarily at all the colors that I would use, mind you. Let's put a yellow back there, and I'll try to make it a yellow that isn't going to make a mess on your screen. I think that I might do that on a separate layer. Let me try that, and oops, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. There we go. Make that a wider stripe, and then I can duplicate that, do another one and make it narrower, and then a third one that is narrower still. Move that over a bit, maybe even space them that way, and more of an offset there. I might change that circle, or maybe I just need to change this, which doesn't seem to be rotating quite like the others. Might also be interesting for these to change in size as well. So what if we, of course I didn't put those on different layers, that would be way too handy. So what if this one got a little larger? Don't ask me why I didn't just put that on a separate layer while I was at it, but there we are. And that one a little larger, got a little misshapen there, but, and then that one larger still going around. Or I could reverse them so that it's larger here, going to smaller around. In fact, let me try that just to see how it works. Pardon me, leaning on the table is probably jiggling things. Oh, I might like that better. What if I move it closer to that? Now, if you're not doing this on a device like this, you might cut these shapes out of paper, and then colored paper, and then just keep moving them around. I don't think I like them next to each other as much. So I'm going to take them back down. And I think I may want to just flip it back again. I don't know. I could play with this all day. There's a white circle hidden in there is why it's cutting off that. That's not bad. And I could do this with, let's see, this goes along with it, and those all, oops, those all go together. Lost my grouping there. Let's just go ahead and group that entirely, and I would probably move it more to the side because I like asymmetry. And my quilt would probably be longer than it is wide. But that has some possibilities. I could also, with these three, I could have it appear to be sort of hanging from up there, or I could have it coming from the bottom, moving up. I want to go to this and that, find that white circle, and at least get rid of that part of it. Okay. So I kind of like that, although I'm not sure that I don't like those three coming from the top. Ordinarily, I want the weight more toward the bottom, but this is weightier, so That might be, ooh, here's something. What if that is hanging from there and all the other pieces are, ooh, okay, that may be what I want. All right, that's enough for this one. I do have all those grouped together. So that's that. Now, how about, let's do something you can see a little better probably. Let's go back to a blue. And let's do the hanging receiver thing. So if I simplify it, sort of, and make it that shape, I could then, always looking for possibilities, fully knowing that it could be a failed attempt altogether. If I made that skinnier, wider, skinnier, and I think I would want this to be much thinner there. Okay, so that's a possibility, but not on its own. So if I make another one, rotate it around, actually, let me take it back, bring it out and rotate it so it's and let's do another one here. It's a little more room to work with. I'll make them smaller. And sometimes the simplest designs are the ones that I really like the most. What if I do this, just duplicate one and fiddle with it. And then, so those are in opposition to each other, but then these aren't in opposition. So, again, if I were doing this properly, I would have these labeled and arranged. But here we are right now. And again, I should have just done my rotate. So I've got these in opposition to each other, and those are in opposition to each other. I could always change color. I could say move this to overlap that a little bit, and then maybe this one could overlap that one a little bit, which adds kind of a different structure to it. Which if I were doing it in just two colors, I would probably do that. If I'm going to do multiple colors though, I might say, I don't know which one I'm on right now, that one. So that one will leave blue, that one let's change color to, I don't know. These are not the tints or shades of the colors I would use, but I think they're going to be easier on your eye on film here. So what do I have next? We got a lavender or a teal or something. That's kind of a big old in-your-face sort of teal. Let's go with that lighter blue. And that could be interesting. I could also then add in some circles because I gotta do circles, you know. And then for the yellow one, try not to jiggle the table or the camera here. I did film something earlier completely different from this, and it was so wobbly I just couldn't stand it, so I know you all wouldn't be able to stand it. That's kind of interesting. I like that. And then, of course, I can always do the standard, put some stripes on it. Let me do white and see how it looks, if it's, looks like it's sort of blending in the background. It's a little bit interesting. I could change the number and the width of the stripes that go in there. So that's a possibility too. Kind of like that. All right, I'll save that one. And again, it's offset because I like things offset. If you like things symmetrical, then by all means do symmetry. So there's that one. What else do we have? Let's try just the dial. And let's do it in pink in honor of the princess phone. Oh, sorry. My bad. Do a circle. Fill that in. And then let's do some different colors in circles. Hope that pink isn't too glaring for you. And let's do some smaller ones that overlap here. Maybe in different colors. Again, these are not the colors I would use. I'm just trying to be easy on your eyes here. Come on, give me a circle. Wasn't quite a circle, but that's too bad. I can't do that. All right, let's just do this. It'll be easier. So we'll take that one and move it and make it this lavender color. This one we will make, I don't know, a gold color. And I think I want all of those to be larger than that. Larger and move it a bit so we give the lavender one a little more room. Okay, and I could space those around however I wanted to. And if I put the candlestick bit in here, I think I would just do the stick part of it. So I will do that underneath that, just as kind of a backdrop. And I think I'll choose a gray. Maybe a cooler gray. And do I want it to go the full? I don't know that I want it to be the full length of the quilt. Can pretty much guarantee I didn't get all those corners closed. Let's test it. Ha! I did. Hallelujah. All right. So that's running through the middle. Do I want it to be that size? Do I want it to be wider? Do I want it running through the middle or off to the side? Also then, as long as we're doing stripes on things, what if we blended that into the white background? And did different stripes there. Oh, do that on a different layer, Karen, make your life easy. Okay, and then now I'm tempted to do a third line, but I think what's going to happen there, I think what will happen there is, let's situate it again, that I've got 3 lines, but 4 of the gray sections then, and I don't, well, it's not horrible. What if I were to, go back to this first line and make it wider? What's happened is that I hit something over here so that I've got, yeah, and if I made that one narrower, maybe it would work, but I don't know. I don't think I like that third line in there, so let me back up and take that out. But I might still like that line to be wider. And I'm getting rid of whatever was going on there. Okay, so there's my line, and I can make it wider over here. Yeah, that's better. I still may want to adjust it, this whole bit here, to a different place behind here, and I may resize it and whatnot, but then I also might want to move all these circles down a bit. So that it isn't, I don't want to center it in there, I don't think. And then move the whole thing off to one side of the quilt like that. You know, sometimes the simplest things are just what I like most. All right, I like that. So let's try one more thing, and that is the speaking tube, I guess, with the circle behind it. So let's go to a green here, just for the heck of it. And then the speaking tube part might actually have 2 parts. Let's do one in, I don't know, green. Let's do a, let's do that. And we'll make the tube like that. This is going to look like an Art Deco piece, I think, which is fine by me. Straighten that out a little bit. And then another piece, which, I don't know, we'll make it yellow. But I want to move these 2 before I do that, because I want to put the yellow down there. Okay. So, and then, because this is a hollow tube, I'll do something to indicate that. It might be a circle, but it might just be an oval. Rotate it a little bit. It would fit there. But I'm deconstructing it, so it could go anywhere or nowhere. I could rotate it. Don't like that. Could make it much larger, of course. Could make it a little rounder. I don't know about that. What if I... That's kind of funky. It looks kind of like an ice cream cone. The mint ice cream has dropped on the sidewalk and made a puddle in the purple waffle cone with the lemon sherbet. I can make up a story about anything. What if I move that down below that and move it around a bit, do some shifting? Those are just some very basic shapes. What might I want to do with that? What if I had another purple one? Another funnel shape, and I changed the size of that. And started moving it around. Probably, let's try another one. I don't know. I could resize any of them. Doesn't matter which one I choose, I guess. Now they're purple paper cups. Do I want them all to overlap, or do I want to have a little rogue out there somewhere that's maybe a different color? Maybe that one's yellow. You can get pretty abstracty with that and have some real fun with it. Don't think I'll take a lot of time doing that right now because you all know how to do that kind of thing. Again, if you had paper pieces that you could play around with, that would be really good. You can always do it in different shades of gray, so you don't have to keep trying different colors. And then once you get an arrangement of the shapes that you like, then draw it out and use colored pencils, crayons, whatever. How did this not get in the right group? All right, you're going up there, Bubby. There we go. All right, so there's one possibility, and it might or might not be in the center. That one I may kind of... Oh, here's an idea. If we want to... I always have an idea, don't I? What if we did another shape in the background that sort of tied all of it together? Let's go to gray again. And I could, of course, do a curved shape here behind it, which would give it some additional motion that direction. Or we could do a triangular shape, which I think I would want to resize. Let's see if we move it that direction. If we did that, we could split this into two colors at that line there. We could also duplicate that, flip it so that it's over on the other side. And finish that out there. Or maybe not. Maybe I want to, as up there, cut that off. It's a different layer, but okay, so more possibilities. We have more possibilities there. Appropriate. All right, so that's a possibility. So I have 4 possibilities now, all of which I think probably need some more tweaking, but there's the one we just did. And then I think this is kind of my favorite. Just such simple shapes, but I think it's kind of my favorite at this point. that one has some real possibilities. I think this could be a fun kids quilt, and not just because of the colors, but just the shapes. And I wouldn't necessarily even make all of these square. If you've watched some of my slice and dice videos, I might just put some sort of random, not necessarily random, but not perfectly squared off pieces in there. It would make it a little more fun, I think. And then this one, which has some real possibilities too. So those are my 4. And let's see if we can, oops, completely wrong. This group is where you're at, Karen. Just going to change the size here. We can look at all 4 of them and see what we think. These would not be made together. Let me be clear about that. Those would not be together. This one, and finally, this one. So let me know which is your favorite. We likely all, I like them all, actually. It's still my favorite. That might be my second choice. I don't know. I like them all. Let me know in the comments which one you like. I'll make it easier for you. Let's put some numbers on them. How about that? So it'll be 1, 2, that was a bad 2. 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's it for my takes on tea, which for me is for telephone. Next up is your prompt for this week. Week 3 prompt is going to be your toolbox. And your toolbox may look completely different from my toolbox. It's whatever toolbox you want it to be. It might be a standard toolbox if you're mechanically or DIY inclined. It might be a toolbox with wrenches and hammers and screwdrivers. Ooh, screwdrivers, that would be really interesting. Sorry. If you're a quilter and a sewist as I am, then maybe it's a rotary cutter and, I don't know, your sewing machine, spools of thread, bobbins, whatever. If you are a gardener, then maybe your toolbox has trowels and rakes and gardening gloves, whatever. So you get the idea. Your toolbox is however you define your toolbox for whatever you like to do or whatever you do for a living, which hopefully is the same thing. So that will be next Sunday. I do love seeing what you all post to Instagram or to my Facebook page. So please continue to do that. You can post it to the Warp Spinster Facebook page and I will pass it along, or just remember to tag me on Instagram and I'll pass that along in my stories. I love seeing those. For Wednesday, I don't know yet. I think I will probably start putting together some of the pieces that I've been working on in the stash busting, scrap busting, whatever. I've been doing a lot of different techniques and ideas, and I think it's time to try to start to pull them together. So I think that's what I'm going to do on Wednesday. I've got some other ideas, but I think it's about time I started to do that, don't you? So I will hopefully see you on Wednesday. If not, then hopefully on Sunday. And in the meantime, be well, be happy, be quilting, be designing. Peace out.